Everybody, so excited to see all of you, and we are going to do exciting things today.
Restart. I didn't hear any of that. Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Oh. Welcome back. We had a little technological snafu, so hopefully you can hear us now. But hopefully you had a great Christmas. We're into the new year 2022. A lot of exciting things in the news, and COVID seems to run rampant once again. But hopefully through our cooking show, we can give you healthy alternatives to help boost your immune system and help you fight COVID and whatever other viruses or sickness you may experience. So tonight also, talking about sickness, Emily Graham, our assistant chef, is not here tonight. All right, so we're going to turn over and they're going to start to show you how to prepare your food for this recipe. So, chef, take it away.
Okay. So first, we'd like to show you how to make the rice. The rice take about 35 minutes, so I decided to. It's best to do it now, because I don't think we have a lot of time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm so excited you are there with me. Oh, so nice. Okay. Okay. So now, let's don't delete too much. Okay. I want you to take 1 cup of rice.
Okay.
And I want you to put it here. I love my wife to cook for me, and when she cook, I just sit down there and relax and everything. Today we're going to do it both together, okay? Okay. So the rice here. So this rice, I like to. There is a technique called nacré, okay? Wait, yes, I'll give you this. Be careful. Use the rice. Put some fennel seeds. We don't want to put too much flavor because the curry itself has a lot of flavor, but I think fennel seed will give like a nice little flavor there. And also maybe a little bit of cinnamon stick here. Okay, so you can go ahead and put this.
The whole thing?
Yes, the whole thing. And just, a little bit here of fennel seed is about just a pinch of fennel seed, just something like that, yes. And then we're going to put the salt. Salt is about half a teaspoon of salt. You think it's enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think so.
Okay, half a teaspoon of salt, just like that. Okay. Then we're going to put about 2 cups of hot water. Uncooked, so it's best to not stir it. If you want to see how much water, you just take a fork or a knife and just make a little well and see if it's cooking up. Okay, perfect. So be careful. I'm going to put 2 cups of hot water. For 2 cups of hot water for about 1 cup of I have long grain rice. You can use any rice, jasmine rice, basmati rice, and it'll be okay. So we're going to bring it to a boil point. Then after this, we're going to lower it down and cover it. Okay? Make sense? Okay. In the meantime, we're going to prep all the vegetable for the curry. This masala curry, so it take about potatoes. So you can choose any vegetable you want. You can take sweet potatoes. What vegetable do you like?
Green onions.
Yes, I forgot. I didn't know you'd be cooking with me. So, okay. So, green onions is great.
And regular onions.
Regular onions. So we're going to use shallot. I like a twist. The French we love shallot in our when we do sauce and everything. So it's basically a curry. It's like a sauce with vegetables. Okay. So we're going to use shallot. Okay. Shallot is a variety of onion, and you have a depth of flavor. It's incredible. Okay. So we're going to use potatoes, celery, bell pepper, and ginger. Especially the time we're leaving all the cold and everything, ginger is great, isn't it?
Plus
and
it's flavorful.
And flavorful, and garlic, fresh garlic, and tofu, and garbanzo beans. Sound good?
Sounds great.
I think it's a good meal there. So we're going to start prepping these things here. And while we're doing this, so we're going to start prepping. First, let me give you. The rice is boiling already, so lower it down, and.
Just turn the other one.
Yes, okay, perfect. You see the cinnamon sticks there, everything there, so we'll lay it down, and it will take about 35 minutes. So, you want to time it?
Well, 6:37.
Okay, 6:37, whatever time it will take.
So
Okay, we can just check it out from time to time.
7:05.
7:05, okay, let's do that. Okay, so for this,
How would you like it?
here, we want to cook it fast enough. So if it's the bigger it
dice.
is, you don't want, if it's too big, we want to dice it, but we want to make sure that it's not too big the size, okay?
Okay.
So it cook faster.
Can
So
I cut it this way?
yeah, you can go ahead. Be careful, it's a very sharp knife. I don't know at home if you have a sharp knife like this one.
I wonder.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now we're going to dice. You see what I do?
Right.
And then the dice it this way. Okay. Very well.
Wow.
Awesome. Seems like you have done this all your life. What happened?
Take a little while.
Okay, so while we're doing this, I don't know if you, while we're doing this, are you ready? Okay, while we're doing this, we're going to prep everything, then we're coming back, and Pastor Benson have a
Mine's a little bit bigger.
All right,
nuggets.
so tonight I just want to welcome you to the new year. So our theme is on newness. My wife and I, we had our 3 kids, and we went down to Florida to Marathon for a nice little vacation. And while we were down there, we had a chance to go skin diving. They have a lighthouse off of Marathon that was beautiful reefs and lots of beautiful fish, tropical colored and all that. We had a wonderful time. It did remind me of the flashback of when I was a kid growing up, and I was working at the Racket Club at $2.95 an hour, making money, and I took up scuba diving class, and I really wanted this new scuba watch. And it cost about $225 at $2.95 an hour. You know, I worked a long time to get that. But I was so excited when I got it because it was stainless steel, and Seiko, you know, is really pretty accurate to the world clock, and so it was awesome. And I used it for scuba diving. It had a bevel so you could start when you started the dive, and then of course you had a depth gauge so you know how long you dived, and a chart so you knew how long you should stay under at that depth before you had to come back up. So that was cool. Also, another new thing for me was a new to me car. And that was awesome. I took good care of that, and I enjoyed that for quite a while. And my wife and I, we built a new house when we were fit in the area. And everything was new. It was pretty exciting. You know, everything's new, brand new house. But it's kind of fascinating because all these things got old after a while. My stainless steel watch band began to fall apart over time, so I don't use it anymore. The car, well, when I hit the deer, that was kind of the end of the newness of the car. And the house, well, it began to settle, and there's some cracks in the basement, in the walkout basement. So newness isn't always that great. But what about relationships? There's a relationship called marriage. And, you know, you start out as newlyweds, newly married. But, you know, it's kind of interesting over time, unless there's some intervention along the way, there'll be some rough spots in the marriage. And marriage can go one of 2 ways. Either it can go down and deteriorate and ultimately end in divorce, or you can reinvest in the relationship and bring in new elements of newness to continue to have a fresh relationship that endures for a long time. So the big question is, what happened to new? Well, it's kind of interesting because we have to go all the way back to the beginning of the creation of the world. Genesis chapters 1 through 3. God created the world, and it was new. And the angels in heaven were excited. The sons of God shouted for joy, Job told us, at the creation of the world. So it must have been amazing and awesome. He created Adam and Eve, the fathers of humanity. They were newly created. It was formed an institution called marriage, and they were newly married that Friday night, enjoyed Sabbath, the first day with God. So new creation, new home, a garden home, newly married. Everything was awesome, right? So the Bible talks about it as being not only good, but it was very good. Fascinating then that it goes on to talk about how God warned them. It says, now, this newness can continue, but there is a tree of knowledge of good and evil that is not so good, and you do not want to take a part of that, because if you do, the day you eat of it, you will certainly die. And so Adam and Eve listened, and they were also warned that there was this Lucifer, who was named Satan, who would try to persuade them to eat from that tree. And sure enough, one day Eve was alone, and she wandered over that way, and a serpent began to speak to her. And he challenged her. He offered her a new deal. The new deal was, look, did God really say that if you eat from this tree, you will certainly die? Well, I'm going to tell you what, you will not die. And secondly, God knows that the day you eat of it, you will become like God. And you'll have knowledge like God, knowing good and evil. So what God is doing is holding back from you, but what I'm offering you is a new deal. You can be like God, you can know good from evil, and you can disobey what he said, and you will not die. Well, we know the rest of the story. Eve ate from it, and then she gave it to Adam, and he ate from it. And then God came and explained to them because they'd eaten from it, they could no longer eat from the tree of life. They would certainly die. And then they lost their robe of light. So God made them clothing of skins. They also lost their home in the garden, and they were evicted. And so they were homeless, and they had to go out into the world to live. Not only that, but the ground was cursed for Adam's sake, and he would only bring forth fruit from the ground with this toil and sweat. Also, Eve was told that she would bring forth children in pain. So there was a lot of transition that took place here suddenly. So the big question is, now we have all this pain and suffering and death and sorrow that's entered into our life's experience, rust and tarnishing and things getting old and falling apart over time. Never was that way before, but because of sin, it is that way. So God offers to make things new again. And the cool thing is, while we are born into our human flesh, John chapter 3 talks about that. Jesus said to Nicodemus, unless you're born again, it's not good enough to be born in the human flesh with a carnal nature, because the carnal nature that we inherit from Adam and Eve after they sinned was selfishness, pride, me first. It's all about me. And it's the opposite of the way God is. God is love. God is benevolent. God is generous and kind, sympathetic, and he cares for people. He has great passion for people and their suffering. That is just, they're at polar opposites. But God said, look, I'm willing to do something special for you guys so that we can make you new again. And so he offered them some promises. Well, it's true that the wages of sin is death. Just like he said, the day you eat of this tree, you will certainly die. But he also has given us the promise that if we would believe in him and accept the substitutionary atonement of his son, we could have life. So what are some of these things that he offered us that would be new? Well, in Ezekiel 36:26, he said, I will give you a new heart. Well, that's pretty awesome, because the heart that they originally had was like God's. It was a heart of love, and then they got the heart of selfishness when they followed Satan. But God says, look, I'm going to go past that. We'll go back and reset, as it were. I'm going to give you a new heart. I'm going to put a new spirit within you. And that's pretty exciting, too, because now with the Spirit's power, you are able to do these things. So I'm going to take the heart of stone, that cold, selfish, arrogant, pride heart out of your flesh, and I'm going to give you a heart of flesh. You're going to be soft and loving and tender and sympathetic and compassionate. And then he says in Ezekiel 36:27, I'll put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you will keep my judgments and do them. In other words, you and I are not able to. All of sin and fallen short of the glory of God, and even our hearts are at enmity with God and are not wanting to be subject to the law of God. But God says, look, I'm going to put a new spirit within you, and I'm going to empower you to walk in my statutes and keep my judgments. And then as you meditate on my law, Psalms 40 verse 8, I delight to do your will, O my God, your law is within my heart. So God's offering us this awesome new experience, restoring, resetting what we lost, and giving us that back again in the future. So how does that impact us today? Well, I think in 2 Corinthians 5:14 it says, the love of Christ, obviously Christ loved us to be that substitutionary atonement for us. The love of Christ compels us because we judge thus that if one died for all, then all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live to themselves, but for him who died for them and rose again. In other words, I got a new focus in life. It's not about me first anymore. It's not about what I want. Rather, I have a new focus, is to live for Christ who loved me, died for me, and rose again. I like 2 Corinthians 5:17 too. It says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. And I can imagine that perhaps in your life as well as in my life, there are things in our past that we would like to just never see again, remember again. We would just like to forget it because not everything we've done in our past life has been right. And then God says, look, old things have passed away, all things have become new. So having this great experience, opportunity stands at the door of 2022. I think in a couple more texts here, in John chapter 3, verse 5, it talks about, assuredly I say to you, unless one is born of water and the Spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. And so how are we born of the water? Ephesians 5 talks about that we're the water of the Word. The water of the Word, that's what helps to cleanse us. As we study the Bible every day, God reveals His will to us, and through the power of His Spirit, He begins to make changes into our life. And that's an important part. Paul says, I've been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. The life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave Himself for me. So I want to appeal to you as we start this new year. Revelation 21, verses 3 through 5 talks about sorrow, tears, death, pain, all these things. The former order passed away, and God is making everything new. I think about that text. Behold, I make all things new. So I want to welcome you to this new life in Christ and invite you to it. And part of that is taking care of our body temples, which is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So one of the ways we want to do that is share with you secrets on healthy cooking, healthy living, so that you can live that more abundant life that Jesus offers you. Let's have prayer before we start. Father, we thank you that we are here in 2022. Lord, there's so many new things you want to do for us that would bring our lives to a higher level of satisfaction and joy. So Lord, help us to accept this gift that you offer us, that we can become new creatures in Christ. Old things passed away, all things become new. The life I live by faith in the Son of God who loves me and gave Himself for me. Bless us now as we seek to learn the secrets of healthy living, and pour your Spirit upon us and give us your wisdom, we pray. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I was excited. Praise the Lord. Okay, so are you ready to continue?
I'm excited.
Okay, so let's do it. So now we're going to start the curry. The rice is simming nicely there. So let's start the curry. So what we need, we're going to take some Smart Balance. This is a vegan butter. So we're going to take 2 teaspoons of this and go ahead. The pot is hot already, so go ahead and put it inside. Okay. And I'm going to chop some shallot when you're doing this. The shallot, you're going to take about half a cup of shallot. So let me chop it up for you quickly. And then you can take your wooden spatula there and start. Start stirring. And shallot, usually you don't cry when you cook shallot, so that's a good deal there. Just for this, I would love to use shallot all the time. Okay, my cutting board goes all over the place right now. Okay, so I'm ready there. I'm going to give you. Let me measure it for our viewers' sake. Okay. I don't usually measure, but I want to make sure. Okay, this is half a cup of shallot. Okay, so we're going to put this in here. Go ahead, put it in. Okay. So you can put it on high now, a little bit on high.
Okay.
If I should put this. Okay. So now we're going to let it saute a little until it becomes translucent. So go ahead, put on a little
all.
higher, and then
A
you're
little
going
bit
to add. You're going to add your spices. Okay, spices is very important to put in. Spices is what make the curry, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So what I usually say to my student, when you put spices in liquid, what will happen? The oil from the spices will not get released. You lost at least 80% of your flavor. But when you put in a straight heat, like oil or dry skillet, what will happen? It will release the oil from the spices, and the flavor will be intense and
So
amazing.
that explains why my
Yeah.
curry doesn't come out as good as yours. Oh,
Yeah.
Voila.
Yeah, voila. Oh, so we discovered something new tonight.
okay.
No, but your curry is good. I will love it. I eat it all the time. Okay, so we're going to put this. I think this is ready.
I think so.
So you're going to put your spices. So put it on low first because we don't want the spices to burn. Okay. Very low. Okay. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. So we're going to put. Go ahead and you can. Let me give
Lower?
it to you. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to take a teaspoon of masala. Masala, let me open it for you. A teaspoon of this. Ugh, I should have opened it before.
See, it's hard to open.
Yes, I thought my strength would
I
be
thought I
enough.
had strength, but
It's not about strength, I think it's about skill right now. Okay, let's keep going.
Doesn't
Let's take the
wanna
curry. While you're doing this, let's take the curry. A teaspoon of curry.
okay.
Then you're going to take a teaspoon of cumin.
Curry.
Cumin seeds. Okay, and what I like about those spices is whole spice. The reason why it's important, I can't believe I can't open these things. The reason why to use whole spice, because the oil from the spice will last longer. Many people have, I hate to use my knife for that, but
It's still not open.
can you guys open it for me over there while I'm
Interesting.
taking care of this? Thank you. Just break it if you have to break it. Okay. So one.
did that
Okay,
already.
this is fenugreek. You're going to take about fenugreek, half a teaspoon of fenugreek, half a teaspoon. What is the difference between whole spice, like the whole spice or the ground spice? What's the difference? What is better, you think?
I'm really not used to using the whole spice, so
Okay.
I would. Well, the ground spice
Yeah.
is already broken down. and
Yes.
It's already released the flavor.
Yes,
Whereas
yeah.
the whole spice
Yeah,
actually
it's still there.
contains the flavor. So
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you. She used the strength of Samson to do this. I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, 1 teaspoon of this.
Okay.
1 teaspoon. Yeah. So, what is the difference between dry herbs and fresh herbs?
Fresh is best.
Fresh is best. Okay, so the same thing. A whole spice have more flavor, more intense flavors than a ground spice where you say the oil is already almost gone. So it's best to use fennel seed and fenugreek.
It just takes more time to prepare.
Yeah, it just take a
Yeah.
little bit more time actually, but it's worth it. Okay, it's worth it, and it will stay longer. Half a teaspoon for each one of them. Okay,
Okay.
half a teaspoon of fennel seeds and half a teaspoon of fenugreek.
So it takes longer, and a lot of times I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah,
So that's why I use the ground.
yeah, but it costs less actually when you use the ground
Okay.
the whole. And I'm going to show the viewers those spices before I keep going. Okay, here is coriander. That is coriander spices, coriander seeds. This is fenugreek. Fenugreek, you have like a curry flavor. Okay, and this is your cumin seeds. Okay, this here is fennel seeds, and all those things we can find it as the nature's nest. We have all those spices there at the nature's nest store here at Campo Sabo. And this is here. What is it? Lily?
What's that? I'm sorry.
It's here.
Coriander.
No.
Nope, sorry.
Come on.
I forgot.
Cardamom.
I'm blank.
Cardamom, okay? This is cardamom. And the last one
I
is
knew that.
curry. Yes, I know you know. Curry, okay? So the cardamom, what happened last, we ate a lot of cardamom for lunch, don't we?
Oh yeah, we did. My mistake.
Okay, so what I usually do, look at what I do. I just crush it first.
So,
You see that?
Oh,
I crush
great.
it,
So
and then you release the seed out from it, okay? And so you don't want the pod because the pod is very pungent. Okay, sometimes I do leave the pod, but if I do, it's like a 1 or 2 pod only. But you want the seed instead of the pod itself. Okay, so
Somehow I never realized that. You
Yeah.
would think I would know this after 22 years, right?
yes, yes.
I didn't pick up on that.
Same here, same here. Hey, always room to learn, and myself also are learning so much with you. You know, one of my favorite best recipes come from you, and I just changed it into a restaurant style. Huh?
Ah.
Okay, here. Okay, so that's it. Nevertheless, we have some chili. The chili is a quarter of a teaspoon of chili. Okay, that's the only thing. A quarter of a teaspoon of chili. The coriander was a quarter of a teaspoon. We put a little bit more, but it's fine. It's okay. It's not a very strong coriander. And now we want to put ginger, fresh ginger in. So you see, viewers, you see we have a lot of spices in this, but to make a good curry, those spices are important.
Yes.
Okay, so we cannot cut corners on that.
Yes.
So ginger, I'm going to peel some ginger for you, and you're going to put it in. Okay. Ginger, we need about a teaspoon. A teaspoon of ginger, I think, would be okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to chop it up quickly, and so you can use it. Okay. Okay, it's all yours to use now. Go ahead. Take it. Yes.
The whole thing?
Yes, the whole things. I'm going to take some garlic also in it. About 2 cloves of garlic. Okay, how is it looking at? It's good. It's not burning.
Blended.
Perfect. Awesome. Let's put the tomato paste right away in. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. About 2 tablespoons. Go ahead. Put another tablespoon. So the tomato paste will just give not only the color, a vibrant color, but also flavor to the curry also. So you see, I crush it down, the garlic, and then. Okay, this is 2 cloves of garlic. If you want more, do you like more garlic, or 2 is fine for you?
Oh, I love garlic.
So
So
you-
you can put as much as you want.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know as much. What is as much for you?
What
3
is too
cloves.
much?
I put 2 cloves.
Oh, that's
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, perfect.
That's a lot.
Okay, so now we're going to put inside. Let's put all the veggies there. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. So we have the celery, the onions, the shallot, the celery. Okay, for now, and let's quickly add some water so we don't burning, because we don't want to burn those spices. Okay, 2 cups of water.
Okay.
We're going to put the potatoes right after that. The potato is starchy, so it's stick on the bottom of the pot when I put the potato straight. Okay. Okay.
Got
So now let's put this in here. Sound good so far? And so we have to let it cook for about 15 minutes on high. Now go ahead, put it on
turn
high.
it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
very very high as possible. And okay, and now the next things is good to put. We're going to put some nutritional yeast flakes, and also
Teaspoon? How
no.
much?
Go ahead, put the nutritional yeast flakes. Put about let's see, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast flakes. Let me wash this for you. Let me wash it quickly. Okay, so add 2 tablespoons of this. Go ahead. Let me try it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. Always there to serve you. Okay, 2 nutritional yeast flakes and 2 teaspoons, two nutritional yeast flakes and 2 teaspoons of chicken style seasoning. The chicken style seasoning I made it myself, and so we sell it also at the Nature's Nest store. It's all vegan, and
And it's the best that I've ever tasted.
that comes from you. I didn't say anything, ladies and gentlemen. She's the one who says the best. Okay, so it is really good. Actually, it's really good. So we have everything there. We're going to put a garbanzo after. Let's bring it to a boil.
Cover.
We need to cover. Usually, you know, many chefs we don't have cover. We use thing like this, skillet. That's the best cover.
Okay.
Okay, it is covered, and we'll bring it to a boil there. In the meantime, what we can do, we're going to make the chapati.
Oh.
In Jamaica, they use many countries have East Africa they use a lot of chapati also. Chapati is the common
More like
bread.
Trinidad,
Uh,
Tobago.
Yes, and in Guyana, Guyana
call it
also
roti.
they go to roti. Okay, so in Jamaica, what?
We don't have chapati.
Okay, but you had roti.
No.
What do you have?
Bami,
Bami. Okay, okay. Can you explain what is a bami?
which we make from cassava.
Okay, from cassava.
We don't usually have a flatbread like that.
Okay.
We make
okay.
dumplings.
Okay, the dumplings. Yes, I showed that in the class. I think I saw dumpling in the class. I believe so. I really thought you were making roti. So the roti you
Roti
wanted
is
me to.
mainly another.
Yes,
like
in
Guyana,
Guyana,
like
yes,
Trinidad,
Guyana and
Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago, they do roti,
Yep.
a lot of roti. So it's not only Indian cuisine have
But Jamaicans
chapati.
do love roti.
Yes.
I do.
Okay, so what we can do, let's take the cutting board here and let's put it somewhere. I'll put it there for you. And we're going to make some flour. Okay, I have some flour here. So for the roti, so we're going to do half and half. Half a cup of white flour and half a cup of whole wheat flour. And it goes well with the curry. This is, isn't it? It goes
Yeah.
really, really well with the curry.
Yeah.
So half a cup of each. And I'm going to do the same thing with you. So I can go to the same process. Okay. Okay, half a cup. Okay, just like this. I wonder if our viewers, have you ever done chapati before? If you did, please tell us how you do it, because there's many ways to do it, and this is my the ways that I try different ways, and I think it worked well for me. And okay, so we're going to put half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, here, half a teaspoon. The salt is here. Half a teaspoon of salt, and perfect. And we're going to put a tablespoon of oil here. So you see what I did here for the oil? I infused the oil. How do you infuse oil? So you warm it up a little bit. You don't want to boil the oil or make it too hot. You just warm it up and put anything you want, like basil, sage, cumin, fennel seed, garlic. So I put fennel seed just to infuse it. Just a little bit of fennel seed to give extra flavor to my Shabbat. Yeah, for at least 2 hours at least. Okay, overnight is best, but at least 1 or 2 hours. Okay,
Right.
so
Check the rice.
yeah, let's check the rice.
Oh, it needs some water.
Okay,
It's
let
too
me
high.
see.
It's too
It
high.
was too high. Okay, let's put a little bit more water. Okay, hold on. So the brown rice can take some time to cook. Go ahead, put some more water. Okay. Perfect. You didn't stir it. You just add the water in and do not stir it. Perfect. That sounds good. Okay, so we're going to add a tablespoon of oil here. First stir it first before you add your oil.
With my hand?
Yeah, with your hand. The hand is the best. The
I
best.
don't like putting my hands in flour.
Yeah. Why that? Come on. Let's do. It's
Can
so.
you tell I'm not a baker?
Yeah, she usually don't bake. She cook well, but she will not bake any sweet anything. Okay, so I'm going to put a tablespoon for me, and go ahead put a tablespoon for you also.
Okay.
And we're going to use warm water. You don't use cold water like a pastry crust. You want to use hot water, warm water. The reason why you make the dough softer, okay? Because this is what we want to accomplish. So we're going to use about half a cup. I believe it's half a cup. Yeah, half a cup. Yeah, of water. Okay. So I'm
Okay.
going to put mine already in. Okay, go ahead. Put yours. Awesome. I can't wait to hear you talking about what you plan to talk about. I almost say what we're going to talk about, but I'm going to keep my mouth quiet.
Nothing that we're doing here.
Yeah, nothing I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Okay, mine is kind of too Oh no, I put half a cup. You see, you put half a cup, and
I did.
and yours is perfect, and mine is a little runny. Okay,
I
so
think you put more than a half cup.
I put more than a half cup. You think so? Okay. Okay, let me check this here. Oh, this is boiling nicely. You see this? This is what we want. This is incredible. And I'm going to put the garbanzo right now in. Okay.
Okay.
The garbanzo in. Just to create this flavor. And let's stir this. And okay, we want to lower the temperature because we don't want to. Not only this, we don't want the water to evaporate too much because we want all the liquid. Okay.
So mine's a little bit sticky now.
Let me
I
see.
guess I put too much water.
No, it's great. It's great, actually.
It's
Okay,
perfect.
so now we want to knead it about 5 minutes, just like that. Okay. So you press it down. Wow, you told me you never bake, but this is exactly the technique for.
I didn't say I never bake. I've done it. I just don't like to bake.
Okay, okay. Wow, you would do some bread for me from now on, eh? Huh?
No. I think I'll enjoy your bread.
Okay. This is really good. You have the right technique. With the palm of your hand, you press it down and you bring it back with your finger. Okay? Press it
Okay.
back and bring it back with your finger. It's okay. It's fine. Okay, just like that.
Down.
That's great. That's awesome. Okay, and you want to do it for 5 minutes, okay? And after this, because
That's a long time.
yes, no, but it's good. You take all your stress, everything there. Hopefully not because your
I suppose
husband.
that's why bacon is stress reliever.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now I prepare something already in advance. So we have it, the dough, but you understand, viewers. So we're going to knead it for 5 minutes, not 5 hours. And this is what we get after this, okay? I double the recipe there.
Wow.
Okay, so you can put it aside there.
I'm done.
Yes,
Yes.
5 minutes done. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is after this is about 5 minutes kneaded, and we let it rest for 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, okay? After you knead it for 5 minutes. Then you want to make a nice stretch there, and this is we double the recipe, so this is 2 of those recipes, so it's double. So it was a cup of whole wheat flour and a cup of white flour. So this is double, okay?
Right.
So basically this is, if it was half of the recipe like we did here, so that will be that, okay?
Okay.
So you can cut it in 5 or in 4 if you want bigger. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go
About
into
here?
4.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, great, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, and you want to roll it this way like that?
I can do that. This reminds me of dumplings in Jamaica.
Yes. Yes, oh, those dumplings. I love. There is. I did a project in. It was in Botswana. In the Caribbean, we have a small little dumpling just
Yes.
like that, like this in Martinique, my country, like this. But so I showed them how to make this, they say, "What?
It's not dumplings.
This is not dumplings." And they show me this. That's his dumpling.
Well,
And
we tend to make some big ones also.
It was, but it took a long time to cook. I don't get it. Anyway, that's their dumplings, and I respect that. Okay, so this is ready. This is like this. So we're going to let it rest because the gluten is there, so it'll be hard to roll. So we're going to let it rest about 2 minutes. Okay,
Okay.
2-3 minutes. Then we're going to do the next steps.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back to this here.
Still too hot.
Yeah. And let's go and stir it, and let's see. Check if the potato is almost cooked or not.
Okay.
If it's almost cooked, we're going to
No.
add.
Oops.
You need a little longer.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me take one and put the knife through. It don't have to be really, really cooked because we don't want it to be too
It
mushy
feels
either.
like it's still hard.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so it's still. I don't want to put the tofu early, and neither the coconut, because what will happen if you put the tofu too early, it will
Be soggy.
yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
mushy and everything. Okay, so we want the potatoes to be cooked a little longer. So we're going to leave it for about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to add the tofu. I want to show the viewers for the tofu because soon you're going to do your lecture. So I want to show them how to make the tofu first before you go
I'm
there.
gonna wash my hands.
Yes. Okay. Like this. So square. It's about a cup of tofu, I believe. I put for your recipe. So you want something like even square like this, okay? For your tofu, that's plenty enough. Okay. So we could put it aside, and the next things I will do, I want to show this quickly before you do your lecture, okay? So we're going to roll this here. I have the flour. Let's take some of the flour here. And so what you want to do is tap it like that, okay? And take a rolling pin here. And let's put a little bit of flour so you don't then stick too much on your things. And we're going to hold it just like that, okay? You want to make a nice round, okay? I will not hold it too much this time because, okay, just like this. Usually, some area in India they will just do the chapati just flat like this, and it's ready to bake. Put it in the skillet. They will put the oil, and it's ready to put in the skillet just like that. Okay, but if you want it, and they will not wash it with oil. They can wash it with oil. They will leave it just like that. But if you want it more flaky, this is what you will do. Okay, take your knife.
Is this big enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, take your knife and make just an edge like that.
Okay.
And
I
then
think I probably went too deep.
oh, it's fine.
Okay.
And then we can wash it. Okay, go ahead, wash yours. Okay, sorry. And then you see what I do from the center here. I will just
Roll the
make
way
a
around.
yes, like
Okay.
a funnel. Okay, and then you want to take the top here and bring it there
Wait,
and tuck
Hold
it
on.
there. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay, just like this.
Right.
Bring it here like
Oh,
that
Okay.
and press it down like this.
Like
On
flour.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, perfect. Press it down. Yeah, don't be afraid to press it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Just like that. And then we do I have another way we can do it also. Go ahead. I'll give you some flour there. Make sure you have always flour in the bottom there. Okay. And this will actually make it very flaky, this technique, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now we do the same thing. A nice disc. This time we're not going to make any cut. Okay, very well. Oh, taking some of the stress out, eh? No, you know how stress a pretty lady like you. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this here. Put the infuse. And you don't have to infuse. You don't have to infuse it. It's a fancy thing I'm trying to do it, but you can just take straight olive oil and that's it, or butter, of balance. Okay, so you make half moon. Okay, and you do another. First you wash it with some oil there, and then you put the edge like that. That's it.
Okay.
And you want to make sure you cover everything with plastic wrap and let it rest for about, we're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes to just relax the gluten, and then we start the process, okay? So this is almost cooked. I'm going to put the tofu there. I'll let you go to your lecture, okay? Good job.
Good job, Chef.
So far.
Okay.
Okay, while she's preparing for the lecture, I'm going to show you the tofu. We're going to put the tofu inside. I think it's probably ready to be incorporated into it. And I'm going to put the coconut milk also. Coconut milk will be about 1/4 cup of coconut milk. And the coconut milk that I like to use is this one. Cherokee coconut milk. This is what chef use in a restaurant. This is creamy. It's have a lot of
There we go.
flavor, and it's basically really the best one. So we're going to add some of this here. Okay,
Can I go closer?
and stir this.
that too
And you
close?
have to be sure, really Make sure that you don't crush your tofu, so be very gentle while you're stirring this. And the rice look very nice. The rice is almost cooked also. And I'm going to put the herb, the cilantro and the basil, just 5 minutes. I'm going to let it cook for about 10 more minutes, and 5 minutes before, at the end, I'm going to put the basil and the cilantro in it. Sound good? Okay, see you soon.
Okay. Okay. Well, hello everyone again. We've come to a very important part of our presentation tonight, and we are going to talk about caffeine. So I recognize that many people are confused about caffeine. Is it good for me? Is it bad for me? There's a lot in the literature that suggests that it's probably a good thing, and there's also a lot in the literature that suggests that it's maybe not such a good thing. So my purpose tonight is not to make up your mind for you. My purpose is to provide you with as much up-to-date information as I possibly can, so that you can make an intelligent decision for yourself as to whether or not you want to continue with caffeine or stop caffeine intake or what. So what is caffeine? Many people do not know that caffeine is actually a drug. It is a stimulant that acts on the central nervous system and is the most commonly consumed legal psychoactive substance or drug. So that means that it acts, being a psychoactive substance, it acts on your central nervous system, and it has the potential to change your mood, your cognition, and your behavior. And we should know that caffeine is found in many forms, including coffee, of course, which is probably the most recognized form. It is also found in certain types of teas, in chocolate, medications. Certain medications have caffeine in it, and certainly those can be helpful for people that have migraines or other issues. It's also found in soft drinks and in also many energy drinks. And a lot of Americans, possibly about 85% of Americans, actually drink about 180 milligrams of caffeine a day. And we'll learn later on what's a good amount and how you can gauge how much caffeine intake. So common caffeine contents to note are that about 250 mLs of coffee, or about a cup of coffee, has about 40 to 180 milligrams of caffeine. Decaf has only about 2 to 5 milligrams. A cup of tea, depending on what kind of tea it is, can have up to 110 milligrams. Energy drinks can have up to about 240 milligrams. And then you can look at your cola drinks. They also have a lot of caffeine in them. Dark chocolate tends to have caffeine, which I did not know that. Well, I found out about a couple of years ago that chocolate actually had caffeine in it. And I'm not a caffeine person, so I was disappointed to know chocolate had caffeine in it. Even the milk chocolate that you like to drink, it has some caffeine in it. And even certain fruit chewies and jelly beans have a small amount of caffeine in it. So at the small amount, it doesn't seem to cause any problems. It doesn't seem to have side effects in most people at small amounts. So let's look at what some of those side effects can be. So I have to admit that caffeine does have some benefits to it. Drinking an intake of less than 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is about 1 to 2 cups of coffee, can cause you to be more alert. It can cause you to have a better mood. It can make you feel less tired and improve physical work and thinking. And for most people that drink coffee, they say that they drink it because it provides them more energy and it helps them to wake up. And that would explain why a lot of nurses or people that work night shift They tend to drink coffee so that they can stay awake. And people that are just waking up in the morning, they tend to reach for their cup of coffee to help them get awake. So that could be a benefit for caffeine to help you to be more alert. But there's other things about caffeine which we'll talk about later. On the flip side, caffeine can also increase your blood pressure if you have blood pressure issues. It can cause more or increase urine output. So if you're one of those females that have bladder issues, that's something to consider. It can also increase your heart rate. So for people that have cardiac issues, caffeine has been shown to actually affect heart rate, and it can cause arrhythmias. So something to consider. What are the effects of large amounts of caffeine? So if you drink more than 600 or up to 600 milligrams of caffeine, it can cause you to be shaky. It can cause you to have trouble sleeping. It can increase your agitation. It can cause you to have fast, irregular heartbeats, or it makes you feel like your heart is racing. It can even cause you to be irritable and restless and nervous. And for some women, there is a risk of fractures, particularly hip fractures, if they consume consistently more than 300 milligrams of caffeine per day. And some of the long-term effects, if you consistently consume greater than 600 milligrams of caffeine in a day, is chronic insomnia, constant anxiety, depression, stomach problems, and worsening high blood pressure. So those are some of the really negative sides of consuming caffeine. And the other thing to consider is that caffeine is addictive. You can become mildly dependent on caffeine from regularly drinking about 350 milligrams per day. That equals about 2 to 4 cups of coffee. And it starts by making you feel like you can't function without it, and that you just aren't fully awake unless you have that cup of coffee, that you're going to feel groggy and fuzzy. And as your body gets used to a certain amount of caffeine, it needs more and more of it to get the same effect. And so you build up a tolerance to it, and that's how you become addicted to it. So caffeine, when you look at the addiction side, it actually causes what we call a metabolic mayhem by injecting kind of like a stress hormone into your system. It has the potential to manipulate dopamine for a quick lift, but then the results are that you have a mental fogginess. And this is one reason why caffeinated drinks often create a strong dependence also. The sugar in caffeinated beverages can also add a kicker that calls for more, which is building up a tolerance like we talked about. And so with it being a drug that is addictive, some people have tried to get off caffeine. And if you suddenly stop drinking caffeine, you might have withdrawal symptoms like headaches, problems sleeping, feeling irritable, tired, depressed, feeling like a lack of energy. And these withdrawal symptoms usually begin within 12 to 24 hours after you stop taking in caffeine in whatever form. And most symptoms, it's important to note that they go away within a few days. So everybody doesn't have the same effect from caffeine. Some people are more sensitive to it, and some people are less sensitive to it. So it all depends on genetics, it depends on the medications, it depends on what health conditions that you have, and it depends on the amount of regularly consumption that you're taking in. Caffeine is actually not safe in pregnancy. The newest research shows that there is no safe level of caffeine during pregnancy, so it is best to avoid it altogether. It increases the risk of low birth weight, miscarriage, and stillbirths. Also, caffeine is not safe for children or adolescents. In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics states that due to the potential healthful or harmful health effects of caffeine, dietary intake should be discouraged for all children. Therefore, and then they talk about energy drinks, and we know that those could be pretty dangerous too for adolescents. It says that energy drinks are not appropriate for children and adolescents and should never be consumed. And you know, a lot of people that or a lot of adults, they start with the caffeine once they are children or adolescents. It starts in the form of chocolate probably, and then it builds up to more and more. So it's best to avoid giving children energy drinks or things with a lot of caffeine in it. So now we've talked about all of the effects of caffeine. If you're one of those persons that actually want to kick the caffeine habit, let's find out what we can do. Number one is to stay hydrated and refreshed with plenty of water and enjoy herbal teas or coffee substitutes. So like I said, for most people or most coffee drinkers, the first act of the day is preparing their drink of coffee. So instead of reaching for that cup of coffee in the morning, it is best to reach for a fresh, cold drink of water or warm drink of water if you like. I like warm water when I wake up in the morning. And you can even add a little fresh lemon to that water to make it taste better. Overnight, you can soak a few blueberries in it, strawberries, or mint to give it some flavor. And start with 1 to 2 cups of water the first thing when you wake up in the morning. So water actually helps to flush your system. It helps you to it energizes your appetite, it stimulates your circulation, and it wakes up your sleepy brain. Number 2 is to take time to enjoy nutritious vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans for real strength and vigor. So energy comes from the good foods that you eat. So the more foods, the more wholesome foods that you're eating, then you won't have to worry a lot about your energy. And you will notice a quick change once you start eating good wholesome food with your vegetables, your whole grains, and your fruits. And eating this way is the best way to get your energy. And don't forget to eat breakfast. Eating breakfast helps to ensure that you don't have that mid-morning slump. So start with a good whole grain cereal and some good fruits, and that gives you a lot of energy. And that's the number one reason why people drink coffee is because they want more energy and they want to wake up. Well, a good breakfast helps you to do that. And another thing that helps is to get daily exercise. You want energy, activity produces energy. That's because energy is produced from the food that we eat, and muscle cells produce energy when they are worked. So good exercise, whatever exercise that you like to do is the one that you should do. Exercise helps to increase your energy, it improves your alertness, it helps to boost your mood, and it helps you to sleep better. And this is one that I highly recommend, is a hot and cold shower. My husband likes to have a hot and cold shower every morning because it wakes him up. So start your day with a hot shower and finish with a blast of cold water. And believe me, that will wake you up. And last but not least is to trust in divine power. God understands your need for energy. He understands your need for cheerfulness and strength. And he can provide for you. He promises in his word in Isaiah 40, verse 29, he gives power to the weary, and to those with no vigor, he increases strength. So you don't need coffee to increase your strength. Trust in divine power. And God bless you. And if you need any of the references, anything that I've talked about tonight, I am willing to share my references with you. God bless.
That was excellent. Excellent. I used to drink coffee as a kid. In the Caribbean and France, coffee and croissant and a baguette, and they put some milk in it, the coffee. That was the way we have breakfast every morning. And when I learned it was bad for me, I just stopped. With no problem. God gave me the strength to stop, and that was it.
How did you feel when you were drinking coffee? Did it have any issues?
I have a lot of energy already, so energy.
So you couldn't tell the difference.
But I substitute with Roma or
okay. Oh yes, that's one thing I forgot to mention.
Postum
and Aroma
and
are good coffee substitutes.
Cafix also is a good one.
There's so many on the market.
Yes. Yeah, there is plenty in the market now.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to start the chapati. The skillet needs to be hot for this, so take it out of the skillet also.
Both?
Yeah, so I'm going to do one, you're going to do one also.
Okay.
Let's it up. Okay. Okay, for chapati, heat is important. Without proper heat, what will happen? It will not.
won't.
It will not rise. It will not. Yeah. So if it's cold, it's not a good recipe for chapati. So it's best to not even start yet. And the way you know is enough. If it's hot enough, you take some water and you put it over the skillet.
If it steams.
Yeah.
then
If
it's
it.
hot.
Okay. So we're going to try this. Okay. So now this is the chapatis that we did earlier, some earlier. So we're going to take a stick. Okay, put some flour there. Okay, I'm going to take a round one also. I'm going to see, experiment
Which one's better?
yeah, which way is best and more flaky, okay?
Okay.
So you want to make it, we don't want to put too much flour actually in. The triangle one will not make it very
No,
round,
mine's
okay?
not very round.
It will not,
to
but
say.
this is authentic.
lopsided.
This is like art.
Really?
Yeah, so you want to make it thin as a, you want
so
to use this
thin
one,
is what does it?
like a, thin like a tortilla, something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Oops. Mine got
Okay,
folded.
mine is not very either because it's a triangle. The triangle is a little harder. So, okay. So you put it aside.
Is that
There's
good?
there's a thickness there. I feel
really?
this. Yes.
Okay.
So you want to dip this again. I'm going to start with my round one already.
How's that?
Great.
better?
Yes.
Okay.
And you want to turn it so it always stay nice. You see, I turn it fine and make it as nice thickness. Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
It's not as nice and round as yours, but
Well, I'm sure it is good.
it still tastes good.
I'm sure it is
Yes.
good. Okay, let me check some water. A little bit more.
Okay. Yeah, that one especially.
Yeah, let me. Okay, I put it on very high, then we can lower it down. Okay, let's do the rest. I'm going to brush it now. Actually, I'll wait for brushing it.
Okay.
I'll wait a little bit. Okay, you want to take one? Take this one. I'll take the triangle one. Okay, it'll be easy for you and me. It's good. Okay. Okay, let me check the skillet again. We can probably start this.
Okay.
Not yet. I should have put it before you finish talking. I should have put it there right away.
Really?
But it's fine. Okay, let's keep going.
Mine just keeps folding.
You're doing such a good job. I'm proud of you. Such a good job.
Thank you for your encouragement.
Hey, I feel very, very excited to have you in my side here now. So that's awesome.
Good to be here.
Yes. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to show them the curry. The curry is done.
Ooh.
You see that?
That looks delicious.
Incredible. And I'm going to put some peas just for the color. Just not color only, but to give you another, the color, make it nice and colorful, like this. Okay. So it's ready. It's put it in cooked. The flavor is right on, and we're going to enjoy that.
Yum.
And the rice also. The rice is ready also.
It's all cooked?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
The rice is awesome. You see that? See that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, beautiful.
Cook a little bit more.
So we just wait for this chapati. I think we can do it now. So what I do, I just take some oil there in one side and just flip it on the side with the oil first, okay?
Okay.
Let me give you something like this to fry it up. Okay, go ahead, put yours. It's yours there. Yeah, great.
Oops.
No, it's fine. It's okay if it's okay. Here, take this.
It's popping right here.
And you're going to flip it after maybe 10 seconds. You see it's starting to pop there.
I
You see all this
see.
pop?
Yeah.
Leave it. Yeah. You don't want to
Just
purse it. Huh? You
don't
just,
pop them?
You don't want to pop it, but you just fly it up just to make sure the dough is cooked properly.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So mine, you see this color there like this?
Oh,
I'm
mine's
going to
nice
turn
and
it this
brown.
way now.
Like that?
Before I turn it, I'm going to brush it with some oil.
Ooh, I turned mine already.
Yeah. Okay, I'll help you.
Okay.
Okay. Brush, flip it some oil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, just like that.
That looks
You
really
see,
good.
that's beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
That's I'm excited about chapati. Why not? Huh? And it's infused with some fennel seed. Oh, look at this. This is perfect so nicely. This is what we want.
Good.
Okay, you want to keep flipping back and forth to make
Really?
sure that
Okay.
it's cooked
Cook
properly.
them thoroughly.
Yeah, thoroughly. Yeah.
Now, can you make this on the fire while you're camping?
Oh yes. Oh, that's the best. The smokiness of the wood. Oh, that's the best chapati when you do that. Okay, I have this here. You want your chapati? We're going to put it in on a plate like this. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. Put it in. I can hold it. I hold it. Okay.
Ready?
Perfect. And we cover it so it stay warm. It doesn't dry up, and we keep going. So I hope you do the same thing to chapati, and you please show us some picture because this is exciting things there. Chapati is one of my favorite things to eat with curry. Okay, we put it there, the hot skillet again. Thank you. We're going to do it one more
A
time.
little bit small.
Yes, it's fine. You see how coming? You see this? It's perfect just like this. This is what we want. You see?
Perfect.
The camera can see this. The perf here, this is what we want to see.
Wow.
Nice and puffy like this.
So that means it has a lot of air.
That's meaning it rests properly. That's mean the
Right.
water it was warm enough, and we the resting part is very important.
Mine's popping up a little
Okay,
bit.
so-
Not as much as that one.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to turn it right away in, just like that. Oh, it's a little burn. I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fine. A little burnt chapati. I ate it anyway. Okay, so you want to keep flipping back and forth. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Back and forth, flipping it. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay,
Can't wait to taste it.
yes. Okay, mine is ready. I'm going to take this here. Okay. I will leave it. I will leave it still. I think it's the hot. The hotter it is,
The better.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, this is the last one we do, so we can start plating
this one's
very
good.
soon. Okay, this is go ahead. You can keep doing. You can do the rest. You can do
Okay.
one at a time. Okay, I'll let you do this one. Do this one. Just do one at a time while I'm doing this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to show. We're going to plate this. We're almost done with the chapati and the rice here. So I hope you will invite your friend to enjoy this meal with you. Don't eat it by yourself. Invite somebody, invite your neighbors, invite someone to enjoy this meal with you. This is an incredible meal here. So the way I would plate it myself, I would just put it there like this. The chapati there. Nice. I'm going to put some rice on top there, dear. Just like that. Top there. And then we're going to put some. By the way, I put the basil and the cilantro 5 minutes before the end, okay?
Basil and cilantro 5
Yes.
minutes before?
Yes.
Oh, that gives it more color.
Yeah, color and flavor. Okay, so we put this on top there. Look at this. What do you think?
Wow.
It's incredible.
Of course, I'm gonna have my whole plate of salad before I start that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Eventually. Salad is important first.
Or greens.
Or
Some type of greens.
Okay. So we have this. And voila, everybody. This is your plate, a curry with your chapati and your brown rice. And that's it.
Looks delicious.
And I want you to please send me some pictures, send me some recipes, other ways, whatever. Show me what you have done, and I'll be very excited to check it out and read it through, okay? And that's our chapati curry
That's it?
masala.
That's it?
Yes. Your thing is burning.
Oops.
Uh-oh, little fire in the kitchen. That's not all bad. All right, so we're going to put this together. We're going to taste it. We're going to open the door for you to offer some questions that you might have for us.
Good.
And
Perfect.
so go ahead and text those on in. We'll pick them up and we'll try to
You put
answer
oil on
those.
top?
I just want to give you a heads up. Coming up February 8th, that'll be our next healthy or home cooking show.
Perfect.
So February 8th, and the focus on that is going to be, of course, that is the month of love, right?
Valentine.
Valentine's, absolutely.
Oh.
So, we're going to have dark chocolate with low amounts of caffeine in it, Nadine.
Voila.
Low amounts.
Thank you, thank you.
But it's actually going to be hot cocoa. It's going to be our refreshment. But we're going to have lasagna is going to be one of our main courses. Also, asparagus veloute. How do you say that?
Veloute asparagus.
Okay, and which is another way of saying cream soup, right? Or
Correct.
sauce.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a French way to say it.
Okay, and then we have tapioca parfait and some hot
100% of that.
cocoa. So you'll want to tune in for that one for sure. That's February 8th at 6:30, and we look forward to having you there. Any questions coming through right now as we get ready to eat? So, okay.